Let's see a couple of tricks about color matching. Now we have a couple of pictures. This one, which is merely green, and then this one, which is more kind of reddish. And I put one on top of the other. Now I don't care about how they will blend in terms of mask. Okay, so I can just have a mask in the top one and then invert the mask and paint the white value here, okay, to get like a nice soft blend. Of course, we can do a better job, but it's not the main purpose of this video. Now we want to match one of the two photos to the other one in terms of colors, and I don't know. I want this green one to go and becomes kind of reddish, so it will basically blend with the bottom layer. So what to do? We can start with an empty layer, and we can color this empty layer with a medium gray value. Okay, so I press Shift F5 to get the fill, and we pick medium gray here from the drop menu, and we press OK. If you don't want to go with Shift F5, you can go here, Edit and Fill. Okay, so this layer now goes into luminosity, and in the moment I put luminosity, as you can see, the luminosity, so the values, the black and white values, are taken from the same level, which is medium gray, as you can see, and colors, so hues and saturation, so the strength of a color comes from what it's behind it. Okay, so you can clearly see we have some green here and then some orange on the top. What to do now? We can just go and create a new adjustment here, put it on the top and increase saturation, and we can do that because now we can clearly see a lot better what's happening. Okay, so the goal here is to bring this yellow green color to something like orangey reddish, and to do so we need to attach a hue saturation adjustment on top of this green layer. So again, I create a new hue saturation and I press Alt and click in the middle to attach it, and then we can just try to select yellows or greens. Okay, now when you see something green, most of the time is yellow. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you go yellow and greens. For example, you can go greens, and normally you will basically select all the greens values, which are nowhere here, almost nowhere here. See? So let's go to the yellows and see if exactly this is it. Okay, so for Photoshop, this color here is not green, it's yellow, and we can just go down with the slider here. I see I'm basically moving the hues. I'm shifting the colors. So now it's not yellow anymore. I'm shifting these colors on the left. So on the left of yellow, there's red, which is exactly what I want. And this is the result. You see, I can see that now greens is disappear and I have the same value. Now, what else you can do? Well, now that color is matched, so the type of color is matched, we can hide the hue saturation on top, the medium gray layer. We don't need them anymore. And immediately everything looks a lot better. But again, we can now work on the values, on the brightness, I would say. You see this part here is darker than this one. So we can add a curve now. We can bring the curve on top, and we can set up the blend mode to luminosity. So this curve is not going to modify the saturation of the colors. And then we can just, make it darker, and you see now is a lot better. Or we can just make it darker from here, and you see it's a lot easier to do such a thing, such a match with this method. I can tell that this is more saturated than this one. Okay. And you can tell even here, you see this color is more saturated than this one. So we can go back on the saturation here and then go back on the yellows and just saturate a little bit this values, and now you don't have to look at this type of image. You can hide the saturation and the medium gray because you found the color anyway. And so you see, you go down with the saturation and the job is done. Now we have a perfectly matched photos. This area, you see, is a little bit brighter. So in case you have different areas with different values, you can then go again with a curve, attach the curve, select luminosity so you don't contrast the result. And now you watch here, and we go down with the brightness as long as we need, okay, something like that. Now this area is too dark, but we don't care because now we invert the mask of this and we paint white only in this area here. So where we need to make everything a little bit darker, and I need to go down with saturation again. So yeah. So here we go. Here we go. We can hide these 3 layers and we can see, before and after. So before and after in a couple of minutes. Another way to check if we have saturation matched is to create a couple of layers, a couple of red layers. So we have a new one. We press Shift F5 to fill. We select color from here and we select red from the color picker. Red should be 25500. So we press OK. We press OK again. This is a red layer, and we put this red layer in luminosity. And then we make a new copy of this and we put this layer in hue. And in this way, we can also have a saturation on the top to increase saturation. You basically have an idea of the saturation amount. And this works because every color now is red, and all you can see is the amount of red, the strength of the red color. And you can just go down here and check if saturation was actually right or not. You see, if I'm trying to match this saturation with this saturation here, this area with this area, and I've done a pretty good job, is well matched. You can immediately understand if something is wrong. You see, this is too much, in respect this area. So, I mean, this is another way to control the saturation amount and immediately fix it, okay? Once you are done with this, of course, you can just hide them and continue to work with your images.